We've built training plans so perfect that we forgot how to feel. Weekly schedules, nutrition, strength training, everything personalized just for you. But there's another way to train, and that's how the greats like Courtney Dauwalter actually reach their full potential. It's called feeling-based training. Not a strict plan that tells you what to do each day, but a framework, a rhythm that adapts to how you feel. So what does that actually look like? How do the greats, the Courtneys and the Killians, listen so closely to their bodies that they know exactly when to push and when to hold back? And how do you bring that same awareness into your own training? That's what we'll explore in this video. The concept. What is feeling-based training? Feeling-based training means you let your body decide what you're going to do today. Not your training plan, not your watch, not AI. You don't go on a 10K tempo run because your plan says so. You go on a 10K tempo run because your body feels ready to push. I learned this from watching and studying Courtney Dauwalter. She's been one of my biggest inspiration when it comes to training and mindset. Before her running career, she followed a strict training plan. Her main sport was cross-country skiing. She was coached closely, learning what her body could handle. But over time, going through highs and lows and multiple injuries, that structure taught her something bigger, how to read herself. And that's the foundation of feeling-based training. So how does it work? The method, how it actually works. Instead of following a rigid plan that dictates every week for months, you start with a long-term goal and build a loose weekly rhythm around it. And that's your skeleton. From there, each morning becomes a check-in. You know you have a couple of hard sessions planned for this week, but when you do them depends on how you feel. Maybe on Monday you'll start an easy run and feel so good and rested that you turn it into a long run. If you wake up feeling sluggish and heavy, maybe doing something other than running is actually more beneficial for you. But there's one big catch. Freedom requires honesty. The risk, of course, is that you never end up feeling like going hard, and you end up just resting all the time and never go in hard sessions. And that's why mindset matters very much. In order to train based on feeling, you need a clear goal and enough discipline to balance intuition with intent. But most importantly, and you can do this no matter your level, you need to start learning a new language. The language your body speaks. And here's the vocabulary you should start getting familiar with. 1. Breathing. Your breathing tells you quite a lot about how much effort you're putting in right now, because it's kind of in sync with your heart rate. How hard are you breathing? On an easy run, you should be able to breathe only through your nose. On a hard tempo run, you shouldn't. For example, when I do nasal breathing on my run, I know that my heart rate rarely gets above 140, because that's about the threshold where I start to feel the need to breathe through my mouth. And so this information is extremely useful, because if you want to go on an easy run and don't have a heart rate monitor with you, you can know more or less your heart rate by how you're breathing. Okay, if you're breathing on 3 counts, inhale on 3 steps, exhale on 3 steps, I know that I'm about at 130, 135 beats per minute. On 2 counts, I know I'm about at 140. And if I start breathing faster, I know that I go above zone 2 and I'm probably in a zone 3, zone 4. It's the simplest form of feedback you get, and it never lies. Number 2 is rhythm. So rhythm is a number of things. It's your cadence, it's your posture, it's your stride. Are you bouncy or do you feel heavy? All of those signals are important. So when I'm fresh, my cadence is usually quite high. I have a good posture and I'm quite bouncy off the ground. But when I'm tired at the end of a long run, usually my cadence slows down and I'm quite heavy, also slouch over a little bit. My running form is just less good. For me, posture and running form is more important than pace. And so what I tend to do when I feel sluggish, when I feel like my cadence is slowing down, my posture is slouching over, I try to just go slower and increase my steps and have a good posture. And that way I teach my body that even when I'm tired, I keep good running form. Number 3, body temperature. Your body temperature and how much you sweat are incredibly important indicators on how much you should drink and how you should fuel. I learned this lesson the hard way during my first ultramarathons. I was always starting out way too fast because of adrenaline, and I always had too many layers on. And the result was that I was sweating much more than during my training. And what happened after 10K, I had cramps all over my legs and actually had to stop multiple times and just take a rest, wait until the electrolytes get absorbed by my body before I could continue on my run. Most runners ignore this until it's too late. Experienced runners who learn the language of their body know exactly at what time and at what point they should take off a layer and at what point they should take electrolytes and rehydrate. Number 4, stiffness and tension. This is one you can start doing every morning when you wake up. Just take 2 minutes to check in with your body and kind of read your tendons, your muscles, your calves. For me, it's mostly my lower limbs, my Achilles tendon and my calves, because I run a lot in zero drop shoes. So when I go on a long run or when I push very hard, this area of my body tends to be quite stiff. And that is the first indicator for shin splints. Usually when I have these little pains, that means shin splints is just around the corner. And I dealt with shin splints for more than 2 years because of that, because I didn't pay attention to those indicators. Today, as soon as I feel that, I will put more focus into strength training, tibialis raises on soleus raises, take it slower, maybe add a little bit of drop in my shoes for the next few runs, just that I take the stress off of this area of my body. And if you think about it, an injury is just the message your body is giving you that tells you that you went too hard and your body was not able to handle all the load that you put into your training, and you should take it slower, okay? And most people only read that signal when the injury is here. The valuable bit is if you read these signals before the injury flares up. Number 5, recovery signals. Sleep, mood, appetite, all of these should also be part of your training data. You don't need an app to tell you if you're tired or hungry. And actually there's many things that your app doesn't even notice because there's no metric to measure it. Right now I'm trying to figure out which foods I respond better than others. So for the whole summer we usually eat salads in the evening, and I was always wondering why I woke up with a sore stomach. And I found out that raw vegetables was not a very good fuel source for me in the evening because it takes a lot of time to digest. And so we switched it up. Now we only eat cooked vegetables, meat and fish in the evening and eat salads at lunch. And the result is that I wake up with a much better stomach. And so this little difference, this awareness has completely changed how I feel in the morning, and I'm super grateful for it. But it would have never happened if I didn't tune in with my body and realize that what I ate in the evening might have been not very good for me. The practice, how to start. So the first step is learning this vocabulary and the language that your body is speaking. Another great tool is RPE, rate of perceived exertion. What I do now is after every run, I log onto my watch how I felt. And this is a great tool just to check in with your body, and it builds self-awareness over time. So how do you know what an 8 RPE is? Now you can do a little benchmark for yourself. You can go on a 5 kilometer all-out sprint, go as fast as you can for 5K, and you set that as a 9 RPE, because you can always go a little bit harder. And the 5 for me is just an easy 5K run at a conversational pace. Everything else falls in between. And the more you do this, the more you will understand what number corresponds to the level of effort. Step number 2 is removing distractions. If you want to learn how to read your body's signals better, then you need to remove the things that distract you from those signals. For one, try to run alone. Running with a run club tends to mute your body's signals because the pace you're running at is usually given by the group and you're chatting with other people, which means you can't really listen to your body. Then you should start running without music and preferably in nature, because sound masks sensation. Music definitely has its place, but running without music will turn up your body's signals. You will start feeling your heart pump, you hear your breath, your strides on the ground. And your strides, for example, give you a lot of information on vertical impact. The louder your strides are, the more vertical impact you're putting through your body. The quieter your strides are, the smoother the impact on your body. And for God's sake, turn off the notifications from your watch telling you if you're going too fast, too slow, or how fast you ran the last mile. When you strip all that away, you start feeling again and you start connecting. And sometimes when I'm out on a safe trail, I actually take my shoes off for like 10 minutes. Barefoot running is an amazing tool to learn how your body is running without cushioned shoes. A little safety note here, if you want to do this, make sure there is no trash or glass on the ground. This can be quite dangerous, and only do it for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes at a time. Doing it too much will increase your training load by a ton and you'll probably get injured. So the goal of feeling-based training isn't control, it's connection. If you start practicing this, truly checking in before every session and after your training sessions, then you'll recover faster, you'll train smarter, and most importantly, you might never have to deal with chronic running injuries ever again. So don't throw away your training plan. It's a very useful tool, just don't be a robot to it. Learn to read the signals your body is giving you. It's been speaking all along, you just need to be ready to listen. So thanks for tuning in to this video, I hope it helped. Stay wild and see you in the next one.